African Americans, over 47 million people in the United States. You see, black people in America speak a different type of English with their own style, with their own energy, called Ebonics. But did you know that Ebonics has deep roots in African dialect and African culture? Today we look at Ebonics and its deep roots, and we look at how Ebonics stems from African culture and African languages. Yes, peace and blessings, everybody. I go by the name Sensical Sense, and welcome to Does It Make Sense, the show that inspires you to think. Well, today we are going to look at Ebonics. You know, Ebonics is very interesting. Black people, when black people speak, especially when black Americans speak, they focus more on vowels than consonants. White people focus more on consonants than vowels. I mean, look at this sentence. I always do this every day. A white person would say, I always do this every day. A black person would say, hey, I do this every day. I do this every day. That I do this every day. That sentence has been shortened from the original one, and the stressing is more on the vowels. And that is the case because most African Americans can trace their roots to West Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, and all of those countries. When you look at how Western Africans speak, I mean, just look at how Nigerians speak. When Nigerians speak, they focus more on vowels. They stress more on vowels than consonants. And that is that way because if you look at slavery, when black people were plucked away from their homeland, taken to a different land that they've never been in, and forced to work there for free, black people were prohibited to practice their original African culture. They were forbidden to speak their African languages. Black people were forbidden to speak their African languages. And the white man taught them English. But black people didn't forget their languages. So their African tongue mixed with the English that the white man taught them births Ebonics. We put African energy, we put African vibe, we put our African style into this English. Hence, Ebonics was born. And also, if you look at Ebonics, it has codes. Stems all the way from slavery, when black people were using a certain lingo so that the slave master could not understand what the slaves are talking about. And those and even till this day we use codes. Like, for example, a black person would say, hey, that brother, he's a bad brother. He's a bad brother. And it doesn't mean that that brother is bad. No. It actually means the opposite. It means that that brother is good. When you look at a person say, wow, that music is stupid. That music is stupid, man. It doesn't mean that the music is bad. It actually means the music is good. So those are the codes that black people set. And we still use codes till this day. But back in the day, black people were setting codes in their communication, so that the slave master could not understand what the slaves was talking about. And so the message today is, we are all Africans. We are all connected. We are all brothers and sisters, whether you like it or not. And for Africans in Europe, in America, who think that they are not African, listen, I'm in Kenya now, born and raised. You just come to Kenya, and I'll show you people who have the same skin like you, who have the same shape of nose and shape of lips like you. So don't tell me that you're not an African. What do you mean you're not an African? Why would you disassociate yourself from a continent that birthed humanity? that birthed all religions, that gave birth to the greatest civilization ever known by man. You're an African, and we will never be free. We as the black race, we will never be free if black Americans are fighting on their own, if black Europeans are fighting on their own, if black people in the Middle East, in Asia are fighting on their own, if black people in Australia, Aboriginals are fighting on their own. We will never be free if we are fighting white supremacy from a divided standpoint. We will never be free. Never, ever, ever. We will only be free economically, socially, and politically if we start fighting white supremacy from a global African family standpoint. So you guys can, so please, all this tribalism needs to stop. All this, Africans in the continent don't think African Americans are more African, needs to stop. All this African Americans and African Europeans thinking that they are not Africans needs to stop. We need to form a connection. We need to form a connection, and that's my lifetime commitment. My commitment is to bridge the gap, is to form a connection with Africans here and Africans in the diaspora, because we need to connect. We need to connect. Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, less is more, and please think before it becomes illegal. See you on the other side.